بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون صدق الله العظيم اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Alhamdulillah, by the fadl of Allah Jalla Majduhu, we have the privilege to be in one of the months which are attributed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, about which the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam said that Muharram is the month of Allah. When anything is attributed to someone, depending upon who it is attributed to, the significance, the degree, the value of it changes. So if a thing belongs to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, be it just his blessed sandals, when it is said that his sandal, that status changes. In the Quran, it's mentioned Naqatullah, the camel of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, its status changes. When we say there are many books, when we say a book of Allah, the kalam of Allah, the status, its meaning. It becomes a very blessed book. It's not a book like any other books then. So when it is said, it's a month of Allah, so you should know, build and refresh in your mind and heart the value of it. Increase the value, significance by actually giving it honor and respect and utilizing it more to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As this majlis, as you are known, is not for bayan or nasiha or anything. Any nasiha is given only also in relation to what the purpose is. And the purpose is to actually get your hearts and mind, soul and spirit diverted towards Allah Jalla Majduhu, and to remove anything which actually is in between. And in actual fact, it is only the person who blocks himself, nor Allah, nor the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, nor any wali blocks. They are openers. They are openers of the way to Allah. They're not blockers of the way to Allah. So all this actually people who are blocked or who are barred, 100% it's only themselves. There's not even 1% shaitan can block you, or the nafs can block you, or anything whatsoever. Yes, if you become actually like a mouse or a cat, and then even lions can be attacked by small animals, actually that's a different story. But in actual fact, mentioning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that when Allah Azza wa Jal gives guidance, no one can misguide. When Allah leaves someone, and who does Allah leave? Allah leaves the one who leaves him. So this idea, this notion, oh please look at me, oh why I am, you don't need to look at anyone or say to anyone, pay attention. Only you need to look at yourself and remove. The light is in front, only I need to open my eyes. If my eyes are closed or they are veils, so then that's it. Other people can assist, but if I choose to keep them closed, or actually then it is as all of you are very much aware of the hadith which is mentioned, that in the last part of night, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala descends, comes down to the first sky, according to however it befits His Majesty. We don't need to go, nor there is any need to go into detail. And asks one of the things which are, anyone wants guidance? So when announcement is being made, now the person on the earth is saying, actually, oh, I am being blocked. It's as though Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is blocking them, or actually Rasulullah sallallahu is actually barring them, or actually anything whatsoever. When Allah is Him saying, is there anyone who wants forgiveness? Is there anyone who wants guidance? Is there anyone who wants closeness? Here I am, come. End of the story. This answers all these notions, all these shaitanic and foolish excuses which we and many other people just come up with, that, oh, this has happened, or please do tawajjuh on me, please do tawajjuh on me, koi nazare karam farmaye, please actually do this. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is doing tawajjuh towards the creation. What more you want? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is doing tawajjuh. As you have heard, there's no need for this majlis as such. It was only established so that the people who are on the path and they want some guidance or tension, or actually to remove some barriers which they themselves have blocked, not anyone, they're not from me or anyone else, it is from the person. It is a help for them. It is assistance for them. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala coming to the first heaven, I am coming in this majlis to remove tawajjuh. And then the person who have this in mind, मेरी तरफ भी तवज्जो करें हज़रत साहब ज़रा जो है ना. तो ये सारा ड्रामा है. It is all actually falsehood, and it is all shaitanic notion. There is no blockage. You think Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is blocking his own ummah to come to him? He is blocking people to enter paradise? Or he rather said that the example of me and the people are that they are like a moths. They run towards light, like in the night time. They come. And he said that you are running towards hellfire and I am grabbing you, not only calling you, grabbing you by your backs and clothes, and you are still actually releasing yourself from me and jumping into the fire. That's what his state is. That is what his nature is. He can't be blocking people. Oh, when is the Prophet of Islam calling me? He's calling you already. When is Allah calling? Allah calls every night and every day. What does it mean when the Prophet of Islam said there are 8 doors of Jannah, and one of the doors of Jannah is called Tawbah. Tawbah means anyone who wants to turn to Allah. So when the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that every door of Jannah closes sometime in day or night, but the door of Tawbah neither closes during the day nor it closes during the night. So what does it mean? That 24 hours he's saying come. Fafirru, he didn't say come, he says fafirru, it's meaning run fast as you can. Fafirru ilallah. Not only he's saying to come, fafirru, farar, jisko word we use the word farar, the person have run away. बंदा फरार हो गया है, यानी भाग गया है जल्दी से. Same word is being used, فَفِرُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ, that actually come running swiftly, fast as you can. فَفِرُّوا إِلَى اللَّهِ. And then in other words, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَسَارِعُوا, actually, come, run and make effort. إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ. Towards where? Forgiveness, maghfirah. The maghfirah is waiting for you. Allah is there. Rasulullah is waiting. And all the mashayikh also, all their life, Shaykh Abdul Qadir Jilani stood up in the mimbar of Baghdad To block people from Allah or to take people to Allah? Haja Mainuddin Chishti, Rahmatullah alayhi, went from Afghanistan to India, Tata Ali Hajweri, and all their lives actually there. And we also trying to copy them. I come on Monday or Thursday, Majlis, to block people from Allah. That's who, so that they don't reach Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or the Prophet of Islam or paradise, rather opening. So, what the point which I am making, take responsibility. Don't point fingers at shaitan and others and others. Shaitan is doing his duty. Why you are not doing your duty? Okay, tell me. From that point of view, he learned something from him. He knows Allah, and he's still going against. He knows his greatness. He's still going against. Because he have said, I am going to go against. So because of his stubbornness, or you may say, he has istiqamah on his, meaning whatever duty he has taken, be it bad duty. But what about you? And what about myself? Actually, what's happening with us? Similarly, the nafs, as I mentioned various times, there is the person who wrongs the nafs does not wrong easily. नफ्स ने बड़ी खराबी की हुई है, नफ्स मुझे बुरी, भाई आप नफ्स को बुरी की तरफ लेके जा रहे हैं. नफ्स जो है वो तो सिर्फ ख्वाहिश कर सकता है. इट्स नॉट अ डिसीजन मेकिंग एंटिटी. इट इज़ नॉट अ डिसीजन मेकिंग एंटिटी. उसके पास फैसले की ताकत ही नहीं है. इट डजंट हैव अ ड्राइविंग सीट. इट डजंट हैव. It can deceive you. A person can be deceived. A person can be invited by shaitanas. But decision-making power, response ability is actually for you. That is why it is a response ability. 2 words. Response means answering. Ability means who have this ability to respond? You, not shaitan, not nafs, not dunya, not anything. So nothing, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, can stop you. Man yahdillahu fala mudad. The guidance which Allah has provided, the system, the mashia of Allah, now the sunnah of Allah, no one can misguide you at all, block you at all. But if you misuse the system of Allah, meaning abuse your freedom, that's abusing the system of Allah, the power of Allah, the amana of Allah. وَمَنْ يُدْلِلْهُ فَلَا هَادِيَ لَهُ. If Allah leave you, then no one can actually guide you now actually. Because you are yourself abusing, you yourself are harming yourself. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not harm anyone unjustly, because He has said various times in the Quran, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَظْلِمُ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ, that small atoms weight equal to that, He does not do zulm. Zulm, stopping someone who wants to someone from benefiting, etc. No, rather Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is opposite to it. He is Rahman, He is Rahim. He forgives, He loves forgiving. He doesn't love punishing. 99.99% He forgives. And thereafter actually the consequence come. Actually. So one should actually have this in mind. So once you are clear from this point of view, at least you know where you are, why you are there, who is wronging you. At least you are not in the deception and in the notion, पता नहीं मैंने किसने रोका हुआ है, शैतान है, नफ्स है, नबी अलैहिस्सलाम नहीं तवज्जो कर रहे, मशाइख नहीं तवज्जो कर रहे, अल्लाह नहीं तवज्जो, पता नहीं कौन. No. Only yourself. And once you take that responsibility, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَالَّذِينَ جَاهَدُوا فِينَا, do you take responsibility and make effort? لَنَهْدِيَنَّهُمْ, then surely, 3 times, surely, definitely Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Subulana, we will not only open door for you, but guide you towards many, many ways of guidance. Actually, once you have. So this, the humanity, Muslim, non-Muslim, others, spiritual seekers, they should understand, and never they should blame Allah, never they should blame Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, never You blame the Mashayikh because actually these personalities are there to help and facilitate. They not to actually put obstructions and things. So who puts obstruction? Yourself. I won't say even dunya can stop you. People have come and they made the dunya as a stepping stone to akhirah and to Allah. Where is the fall? Where is the flow? इसी दुनिया में आके लोग वली बन गए दुनिया को ही इस्तेमाल करके अम्बिया यहाँ आके ऊंचे दर्जे ले गए Adam alayhi salam came to the earth and when he went back to Allah he had higher status than when he came down. So इसी दुनिया को for using this dunya they have attained and I am blaming actually dunya. And dunya has actually a purpose. Dunya has purpose that is a test. And Allah, dunya says, actually like it's mentioned in some of the books, أوحى الله إلى الدنيا أن أخدمي من خدمني. O dunya, serve the one who serves me. وأتعبي من خدمك. And whoever comes after you, destroy him. So you make yourself, you make a decision going towards the snake. It's you are doing it. Not the snake is harming you. You are putting your hand every day in the, you may say, holes where snakes live. So and if you get bitten, who is at fault? Snakes to बैठे हुए आराम से. But you are putting hand. So similarly, we are putting our hand, sometime our stomach, sometime our eyes in dunya. In these are the sins are the holes where snakes live. And the person who puts in them, it is him. It's not dunya. Shaitan jo hai, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, you do not need to worry about that. Just seek my protection and do whatever is in your ability to protect yourself. Finish, end of the story. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I will save you. But if you say, oh Allah, save me from fire, and you keep on walking towards the fire and jumping, then who will save you? That's what we are doing. So Allah says, yeah, I will save you, but you save yourself as well. You pray to me, whatever is in your ability, you save yourself. And then I will save you as well if there is some other thing actually. So the people to help you, people to assist you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I will help you. How can someone be harmed if Allah is protecting you? So, but Allah protects those people who use all their faculties, all their knowledge, all their ability to guard them. So whoever, for example, guards their ears, guards their eyes, guards their heart, and intentionally do not go into the wrong path, they are protecting themselves. Now, if shaitanic, because of jealousy and thing, he comes with an army or whatever, attacks you, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protects you. And even if you are harmed, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala still heals you and reestablishes you. So once this it is in your mind, pointing finger and knowing where, not pointing finger only, but knowing where the power lies. The power is with you. Allah has given you the amana. وَحَمَلَهَا الْإِنسَانِ. The insan have been equipped with it. Not actually other dunya. Dunya doesn't have a choice. Actually, the nafs actually doesn't have a choice. It just goes sways with the circumstances. So the only power, driving seat, you are in. And shaitan doesn't have power. He will also say on the Day of Judgment, مَا كَانَ لِي عَلَيْكُم مِّن sultan. I did not have any power over them as such that I could force them. إِلَّا أَن دَعُوتُكُمْ. Only I showed them invited them towards certain thing and they accepted my invitation. But when you accept, then he overpowers you. Then you become subdued. That is a different story. But in the beginning, you are not. So no one is saying to you, become a gangster or become a gang member. They can't force you to become a gang member. But if you yourself are roaming around in the streets and looking at the gangs, oh, please admit me in any gang. Once you come with the member, then you are under their control. Whilst you live independently, they are not going to drag you from your bed and say, come become a gang member. But once you become, now they say now that you can't leave or whatever. Similar story with Shaitan. He cannot actually force you. He only have invitation. Whoever goes to him, that I also want to become a little devil, we said, yes, okay, you can come, but then you cannot go. That is a different story. So in the Quran also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned on some people, he becomes sultan, meaning actually overpowers them, and it is those who willingly has given their power. So at least in this dunya, in this world, in the spiritual world, physical world, and also the religious world, be crystal clear of this thought, who is responsible actually, and who is stopping you. No one can stop you. Actually, by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you are the responsible person. All other will facilitate. Anbiya ikram, malaika. Imagine how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is merciful. Soon as the person wants, He sends malaika. He sends angels to help them. As soon as people start dhikr, malaika starts descending. What more you want? Soon as person begins zikr, the majalis of zikr, the nasiha, unseen help starts coming from them, for them. So, alhamdulillah, this is. So once a person knows this, when he wakes up to this reality, he knows who is responsible, then he will take, and he should take responsibility. That's I am to blame, and it is I myself who have to actually do something. No one is going to help me if I am not helping myself. Even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna Allah la yughayyiru, that Allah will definitely not change the condition of people unless they change what is within themselves. Why? Because Allah has already given you the power to change what is within yourself. And then whatever is outside and whatever is beyond your power, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like in the spiritual world, we go opening the doors and going towards actually higher realms and things. That is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala facilitate. But we primarily from the beginning, and secondly, a person should know in all what happens, whatever happens, and you are in a problem, trouble, agony, pain, never bring this in mind, oh, why this is happening to me? Why is Allah doing? No one is doing something. You are doing something to yourself only. And shaitan cannot do, you are making him do to yourself by submitting to him. Dunya cannot do, you are making them. So this blame game should actually end by actually blaming the real, you may say, criminal, the real perpetrator, which is yourself, your ruh and the power of amana. Simple as that. That's why the ruh will be punished. Otherwise, because it is the actual decision maker, not the nafs, not the mind, not the heart, not the soul. The ruh, which is you, when you say I, you, and who has the power. So, in actual fact, body is not punished there. It is the ruh, because decision maker is ruh. Body will only made a means so that the pain can reach the ruh. So if my hand is burned, hand doesn't know I am burned. It is the mind which feels the pain. The mind is also brain. Actually, it can't feel. The actual feeling goes to the spirit. The pleasure also goes to that as well. So one should be very clear about that. And now, inshallah, we will be doing the Muraqabah Husainiya. Muraqabah Husainiya is to do with the Sayyidina Imam al-Hussein radiallahu anhu. And one, after the purification of the Lataif for 10-15 minutes, total about half an hour, then 10-15 minutes, one goes from here to fast to Sayyidina Abdul Hassan Shazali and Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jalani, and then to Sayyidina Imam Hussein radiallahu anhu, and then in Karbala, because his blessed resting place in Karbala, to those times when he was there, so that you can be with him and see and take some motivation. Even physically being there, if you want to be a Kufi and you are actually physically, not spiritually there, you are a failure. So that's why I say to all these people who visions can never make you successful. They can only actually little bit will push you. They can motivate you. They can inspire you. That's all. What is spirit? When physically people, hundreds and thousands of people of Yazidi army and hundreds and thousands of people from Kufa were there physically present, and they did not actually stand with the truth. So spiritually going there is weaker level. They were both physically, spiritually there. But they chose not to. End of the story. So if you go, I saw Imam Hussain radiallahu anhu, and then you do your same thing what you were doing yesterday, go and actually open and meaning whatever, because the Prophet ﷺ always remember this hadith. Rasulullah ﷺ mentioned that there will be people coming on the day of judgment who will have mountains and mountains of good deeds, like the mountains of Tahama. It's like a mountain range in Arabia. And their deeds, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make their deeds like dust. And Prophet Islam said they would be praying with you, they will be doing jihad with you, actually meaning they will be participating in all good deeds, the dhikr, majalis and umrah and hajj, doing all sorts of collective things. The Sahaba Ikram, Rizwan Ajmain said, Ya Rasulullah, please inform us so that we can recognize them, so that we can stay away from them, or we can save ourselves by not becoming one of those. Who are these people that who will be doing every collective praying with Jamaat, majlis of zikr, majlis of jihad, and doing all, and then obviously these are good deeds, but they will just perish and like dust actually, and that atomic bomb explodes and all the mountain actually goes. And the Prophet said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will do that actually. So when the Sahaba Ikram asked, he sallallahu alayhi wa sallam mentioned, the reason is that when these people, they're good with people, like now you are sitting, I am sitting, good, going on Hajj with all the labbaik, Allahumma labbaik, going through the Rasulullah sallallahu Assalamu alaikum ya Rasulullah, they're doing the same thing as they're doing, and doing some other a good activity, charity work, I'm giving a lot of charity. But as soon as I am free, I go in my room, here I go, bas, theek hai. They're putting TV on or getting other physical activity which is sinful. Prophet ﷺ said the sign of them is that when they will go to seclusion and alone places, they will indulge in sin. That is a sign. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say that this means that all that collective effort was drama and there was no reality in there. This is the real thing. So never judge yourself or even want to see, am I good with actually outside? I am doing hajj, I am doing jihad, I am doing dawah, I am doing biyans, I am doing taqreer. Only you need to look when you are free and alone. And opportunity of the sin is there. What is your response? If the opportunity is not there, just think if the opportunity, if you are in a room, there's a beautiful girl, no one to, and she's there, what will you? If you have opportunity, if you find £1 million, no one knows, what will you do? Well, if you're getting the response that you are, then this means you are in that category. And it doesn't matter what you do outside, what you do in the masjid, how people see you. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, good, what is good? Good deeds were to connect with me. And when your connection was so, as soon as you were with me, you did the worst thing. So what is good deeds now? All those actually are just. So this is a Sahih hadith, and a person should always remember. And hold yourself accountable when you are alone and you have the opportunity to actually please the nafs and displease Allah. That is the point where you should judge yourself. What people are doing, they never judge themselves like this. Oh, yes, we are praying. Oh, yes, I did 10 umrahs. Oh, yes, I'm doing sadaqah, khairat. Oh, yes, I'm doing zikr with the people. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. These things do not have value if really with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the person doesn't have such a relationship. So a person, if they do, they should try to improve themselves. Okay, I am doing collective goodness, but I need to actually connect with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is why in the path of Tariqah Muhammadiyah, one of the first lesson a person is given is that think Allah is with me and act accordingly. If Allah is watching, seeing you, how you should act and act accordingly. And if Allah is hearing you, and definitely He is, how you should speak. So ye pehla, ताकि so the person develops a link. That's why many people, they go very, very quickly, very swiftly they reach Allah. Others think, oh, I am doing this and I am doing that. They should see what I am doing alone when I am. And when I have opportunity of sin, when I have the means, what do I do? That is the point in your life. For 24 hours time, you just need to think about, and based upon that, then one can start improving next time, and slowly, alhamdulillah, the person can. So that's why the course of tazkiyah called tazkiyah nafs. Tazkiyah nafs means the tazkiyah of the self. Self means all of the body. Here, the nafs doesn't mean that the nafs which incites towards evil. Remember, when we use the word, it means whole of the person. Nafs have two meanings. One, it means whole of the personality, and one, it means that the emotional self of the person. So when we say tazkiyah, purification of the self, it means the whole self, meaning the body, the mind, the heart, and actually that element which is the nafs. Like self, when we say myself, self means whole of the person, and it can also mean that lower self, meaning the emotional self, which actually has the desires and emotions and things. तो ये चीज़ है. जज़ाकुमुल्लाह खैरन जज़ा. सुब्हानकल्लाहुम्मा बिहम्दिक नशहदु अन ला इलाहा इल्ला अंता नस्तगफिरुक व नतूबु इलैक.
Inshallah, as we have heard from our teacher, by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we shall be performing the Muraqabah Husainiyah. So the name may be sounding new or different, but the process by which we will be performing this is still the same. Everyone here, I believe, are fully aware in terms of how to initially start this process. So I will briefly summarize what's been mentioned for the benefit of reminder for myself and everyone else. So at the beginning, with these spiritual practices we do, we know one central theme to begin with. It's like, as I explained in the presentations and in the bayanats in the past, is before you begin, is as though you want to ignite or start the car, the ignition for the car to run and to travel. So this is a spiritual travel, and for the spiritual travel, we have to ignite or start our soul and spirit to traverse and transfer and go to those places of the spiritual journey. So in order for us to ignite ourselves, one of the best way is to do so is through the process of purification of the spiritual centers, or latifas, lataif, which we know, for example, are the 7 situated throughout our body. So we will begin with that. So briefly, just to explain this aspect, just to remind ourselves, is we will begin obviously refreshing ourselves, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is with us, watching us, is healing us, rectify our intention. Then we'll be performing the protection adhkars, after which then the 3 muraqabas, or the deep thinking, with the bringing in the humbleness, the thankfulness and the reliance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then we shall begin with the startup adhkars, with Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Astaghfar, Durood Sharif, the prayer on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, 3 times each. Then after which we begin with the first aspect, which is the preparation latifa. And this is where we imagine the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, white name in the sky. As we breathe in, the light is coming down, going through our head, and going through all the system inside of us, with all the latifa are inside of us, like as though we're filling the balloon. And then when we exhale, breathe out with our mouth, the light comes back up, cleansing all the darknesses, worries, or any other distractions that we have, and it exits from our mouth and goes back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is the preparation that we do. And then we begin the process of the purification of all the other spiritual centers, latifas. Again, we begin with the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is in red in color. We refresh the 3 keys again, and then as we breathe in, light descends, enters through our nose, the red light goes down where the red latifa is, below our navel, enters there, and as we breathe out, the light leaves from the back. So with the same process then, from then on, we do the orange latifa, which is situated in the belly button, the navel area. Then we move on and do the yellow one situated in the stomach area. Then with the same process, we move on and we do the green one in the chest area. Then after which, we then move on onto the light blue the latifa, which is situated in our throat area. Then after that, we move on to the face one, the dark blue indigo color. So same process, still the same, just moving up in the spiritual centers. Then finally, we do the crown latifa, which is situated above our head, like for example, the turban I'm wearing, the Imam Sharif, and we purify that. Then after which, again, we take a deep breath in, the light comes through the name, from the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the white light comes all the way through our latifa inside of us and fills ourselves up like a balloon, lighting up or enlightening all the 7 latifas, everything inside. And then you breathe out and the light goes back up, and slowly the body starts to disappear, disintegrate. And then slowly, eventually, you shall see even the 7 latifa, one by one, is actually switching off and disintegrating. Only the breath, the spirit of ourselves is left inside of us. And then we see just like a shakal or like an outside feature of our body, just an image of our body in front of us, spiritual self, a spiritual body in front of us. And then we take a few deep breaths, and then finally we take the golden breath and the final breath, and it's as though we transfer our spirit, everything, onto the spiritual body, enlightened body in front of us. So this is the point of transfer now. And then from then on, straight away, we look for our teacher. I.e., the key here is to look for the teacher, and to then journey begins. And the looking for the teacher is not, again, a very complicated or difficult task. It's simply, as we can see our teacher in front of us now, we just have to be with them. have that the mental image in ourselves, and that's sufficient. Then inshallah, as mentioned, when we meet the teacher, we greet, and then the way manner one should do. Then then journey begins. Then we go to first to Fars Sharif in Morocco, in the Blessed Cemetery. We greet our teacher, our Mashaykh there with our teacher, Sheikh Sayyidina Abdul Aziz al-Dabbagh, rahimahullah. They may accompany us, then go to the other Mashaykh, as mentioned, like Imam Ashadli, then Sheikh Sayyidina Abdul Qadir al-Jilani. Then from then on, we meet the blessed personality of Sayyidina Imam Hussein, radiallahu anhum. And from then, we might go to, we go to the plain and the place of Karbala in Iraq. And there we also have the spiritual experience, interact, receive any guidance and nasiha from the Mashaykh, from the blessed personalities. And also, as we were taught and reminded in the past, it is not just purely a spiritual experience or a kind of an entertainment only, that I have a good experience today, but rather that we learn lessons from this experience, that what lessons can we take from, and then how can I implement this in my life. So not only it becomes an experience, but also it becomes like a personal a guidance, a personal goal or a task that one should do, especially in this month of Muharram, for example. And in that, not only we hear the nasiha and advice from our mashayikh and so on, which is also very personalized, but this is from our own self, the spirit experiences. And that's this very spiritual, personal guidance, which may be very unique to our own selves, the problems and the issues and the daily the task we carry out and we face. Then we get guidance and solution for this as well to implement, so that inshallah we can go close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and the mashayikh and the teacher as well. So to summarize, inshallah, we'll do the lataif, the practices for, like, as mentioned, about 15 minutes or so, then transfer, and then for the next 15 minutes we go to these stations and muqamats, meet those blessed personalities, and inshallah, by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, receive some guidance and advice for our own self, inshallah. And that is all.
So inshallah, whole of the journey, you are going to do your self-purification, the transfer, this experience, and 1 to 2 minutes if you spend on each of the lataif, it is fine. And then thereafter, you can mention anything, or feedback, or any rectification, any mistakes, any weaknesses, blockages, guidance, anything whatsoever. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم
ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء. وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يئوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر غاسق إذا وقب ومن شر النفاثات في العقد ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل أعوذ برب الناس ملك الناس إله الناس من شر الوسواس الخناس الذي يوسوس في صدور الناس من الجنة والناس. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد قل أعوذ برب الفلق من شر ما خلق ومن شر بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أستغفر الله أستغفر الله أستغفر الله الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم وأتوب إليه. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم. اللهم صل على محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وسلم تسليما. السلام عليك يا رسول الله وسلم عليك يا حبيب الله. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله الملك الحق المبين لا إله إلا الله والله أكبر لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له لا إله إلا الله له الملك وله الحمد إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم اللهم صل على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم استغفر الله استغفر
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now is opportunity for yourselves to mention any specific guidance that you may have received or any part of the experience that you think is important to relate or anything you might be struggling with, inshallah. So from the right, if anybody would like to, just raise your hands. Bring the mic.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So when we started, and then I transferred, and then I met with yourself as sub, and then it was like a split second, and we was in Karbala, and Hazrat Imam Hussein radiallahu anhu, they said that the mindset to be in to benefit from every situation is though that you are living mini Karbalas. So every decision that you make is as though it's a mini Karbala. Are you going to stand in the way of the truth, or perish in that sense? And then from there it just faded away.
Right, mashallah, that's fine. So it's very important, precious advice that Karbala really literally also means, Bala means a test, a severe kind of situation where a person is tested. And Karb meaning pain, serious. So the Karbala refers to arena, a situation of test. So that was for Sayyidina Imam Hussein radiallahu anhu. But as it has been mentioned that for us, we have our own Karbala, meaning arenas of test, realms of test from different dimensions. And as it has been mentioned that the person should actually act with truth and not be affected by it, the circumstances and the influence of nafs and shaitan and dunya, but actually stand by the truth, and the end of this person will be better and will achieve salvation. Because that was one of the things which Sayyidina Imam Hussain radiallahu ta'ala shown that truth is important than life and everything, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's message. And in this path to Allah, in every situation you can become successful. So like he attained martyrdom, so that also is salvation and success. If you live, it is a success. If you die, it is a success. If you lose anything, it's a success. If you gain, still it's a success. So it has all a different dimension of success, which is the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is achieved. Then it doesn't matter gaining, losing, dying, living, whatsoever. Jazakallah mashallah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Yeah, we transferred and then we went Karbala, and then we saw three groups of people. There was the camp of Hazrat Imam Hussain, radiallahu anhu. There was a camp who was warring against them, and spiritually how we could see them, that the camp of Hazrat Imam Hussain, first we physically saw them and then we saw that their camp of people, they were enlightened people made of nur. The second camp of people who were like disbelieving people, warring against them, they were outwardly not like the people following the Prophet Sunnah, and their hearts were black. And there was a third type of people who outwardly they were in Sunnah, but their hearts were black like a munafiq. And what happened was then we were being shown their graves, and that these angels came and they were squashing their bodies together, and they had hammers which were like the size of this room, and they were smashing them with hammers and beating them ruthlessly in the graves. And then when we saw Imam Hussain, radiallahu anhu, they gave us some guidance and said that be amongst the few. He said it doesn't matter if there are, along the lines, if there are many people, it doesn't matter, don't look at many people, be amongst the few people. And there were other things that happened, but we think that's right.
Okay, mashallah, that's very important advice, because sometimes, like if anyone has money, it doesn't mean they are truthful. If someone is physically strong, it doesn't mean they are truthful. If they have government, it doesn't mean they are truthful. That is something else. So similarly, sometimes people get deceived by numbers. Oh, look how many people are doing this, how many people. It doesn't matter if people are so many and they are on falsehood. They're saying 2 plus 2 is 5, and they're 1 million, and there are 2 people who say 2 plus 2, 4. It doesn't matter, it's not about numbers, it's about the truth, really. So as he said that Sayyidina Imam Hussain knew that until the day of judgment, that there will be few on truth. So he said that be with the few, although actually this is the success and truth. And the primary reason, which was very, very manifest, that it was almost 100 people with him, less than 100, and there were others on so many. So one should try to get people as many as one can toward the side of truth, like he tried. But then if they are only few, then be happy that actually you are with the truthful people. And also the punishment of the grave is shown, that no matter, sometimes a person says, I am in pain, I am in poverty, I am in difficulty. So one should compare that spending one night or day in the grave in such a punishment is actually more severe than one spending, actually you may say, the whole life in luxury as such. So that also one should keep in mind, because after the test or the death, it's not end of life, it's the beginning of the real consequences.
also remind that please also share lessons and so on. And if there's any difficulties, it's important to mention those, not to shy away, because some people usually shy away from mentioning difficulties and then they struggle later on, approach Ustad and so on as well.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
After transferring, meeting yourself, we travel to the blessed.
And loudly. So,
After traveling, we arrived at the blessed city of Fars, where we met, gave our salams with permission to our teacher Sayyidina Abdul Aziz Dabbar rahmatullah alayhi. They smiled and mentioned, now do you understand about the question you asked about gift?
please don't speak to yourself, speak to people who are listening. It's like you are doing a speech and bayan.
We then traveled to the city of where Imam Hussein radiallahu anhu, the battle of Karbala took place, and many scenes were shown, but the lesson was driven to this meaning. They mentioned that we have sacrificed our life for the message, and this is a great lesson to take in itself. And in the modern world, what is the Karbala? There are many lessons one can take, and also to benefit people from these blessings, like through social media to spread the message. Whereas we sacrificed our life for the message, so that people will benefit for the future to come. So advice was given that use media, social media, to spread the true message far across, which is much more easier to do than before. This meaning, and that was the
Right. Yes, mashallah, this is a very clear message that giving dawah, conveying message it's never been so easier in history like it's now. There's so much technology, printing is easy, speaking is easy, media is easy. And if a person is not even doing it in the easiest form, how will they do or expected that they will convey the message under the shadows of shaitan and opposition, or the shadows of swords and actually fear of life. So everyone has access to some kind of media, be it internet. They can have their own website, they can have own their page, or they can share the other ones actually. And also beyond recording, if they can't do, they can at least edit or select certain clips, very useful clips from different scholars, which are, for example, very beneficial, and then actually relay that. You can have one page on your name, but, for example, you can post from all scholars. So it's so easy now to convey the message and actually to use. So inshallah, and one should do that practically, starting from oneself, inshallah. ठीक है फिर जज़ाकल्लाह सुब्हानक अल्लाहुम्मा बिहम्दिक नशहदु अन ला इलाहा इल्ला अंता नस्तगफिरुक व नतूबु इलैक। अब नवाफिल इशराक का वक्त हो गया, वो पढ़ने में